Today we're going to talk about backup offers. Are they worth it? And here's why I think we can make them work for you. Please make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as we put out new videos weekly. A couple of the topics that I've talked about recently is the benefits of buying a home in a smaller community like Leduc compared to Edmonton. We talk about the do's and don'ts of buying a house in a competitive market, and we talk about the entire home buying timeline. So please make sure to go check those out. My name is Jesse with the Leduc Real Estate Group at eXp Realty, and I'm here with a video that, if you bear with me, the minutia of it is a little bit thick, but it's a very important topic and one that I think is very relevant when we are in a competitive seller's market. Today, we're going to talk about backup offers. Now, I'm going to talk about why I think backup offers are incredibly important in a market like this, both for sellers and from buyers. We're going to look at this from both perspectives, okay? Now, first, I want to talk about backup offers from a buyer's perspective. So, in your home buying journey, at one point, you're going to be looking at homes online, you're going to see something that you like and you want to go look at it. You talk to your real estate agent, say, hey, let's go see this. Real estate agent looks it up, we find out, it actually just went pending. What that means is somebody else has already written an offer, the seller has accepted that offer, and it's subject to a couple of conditions. Most often it's financing and a home inspection. And most of the time that pending period is about 2 weeks from when the offer gets accepted. So the home is now pending until, let's say, June 15th. All right, so that means that no one else can take that home away from those buyers until the deadline on June 15th. That first buyer is in complete control whether the house sells or not. So you might go, well, why would I go look at it then if I can't have it? That's a very good question, and we do not want to get in the habit of showing you properties that you can't have. However, I would say that at least a third of the time, maybe even more, the buyers of that first offer will request changes to the contract, either after a home inspection or, in a lot of cases, they need a couple more days for the bank to have their mortgage approved. Financing is the biggest bottleneck right now in the home buying process. It's taking a long time for lenders to process mortgage approvals. So even though we ask for about 2 weeks, sometimes it can take a couple more days. It just really depends on how ready those buyers are. It's like, are their ducks in a row? Do they have the NOAs and the T4s and their tax returns, all that stuff, and job letters and pay stubs, all the things that a bank needs to approve financing? Sometimes people will write offers on that before they kind of have all their ducks in a row. And so we get to the end of that conditional period and the buyers need a couple more days to get their financing approved. Now, normally a seller will agree to give them a couple more days because it's a whole lot easier to give them a couple more days than to start all over with somebody else, right? So here's where backup offers come in from a buyer's perspective and how you can use them to your advantage. So exact same scenario, a house is pending until June 15th. You as the buyer still decide, I want to go see this place. It looks like it's perfect. You go see it, and yes, it's perfect. You want to write an offer on it. You can still do that, and a seller can still accept an offer. You write the offer, you negotiate it just like you normally would. So now you've come to an agreement on price and possession and conditions and all the good stuff that's in an offer. Now, it's only a backup offer, which means that it's only in effect if those first people do not remove their conditions by the deadline, in this case, June 15th. So here's why the backup offer can work for you. How I structure my backup offers for my buyers, we put a term in that contract that says something to the effect of, by the seller accepting this backup offer, they agree to make 0 changes to the original offer, which means if those first buyers decide they want to haggle over a few items after a home inspection, the seller can't agree to any changes. This also means that if those buyers need a couple more days before they can get their financing approved and they ask the seller for an extension on that condition, the seller has no choice, they have to say no. All right, so it puts you in the best position to be able to sneak your way in there in case those first buyers want to make any changes. Now, if we do force that buyer into a situation where they have a decision to make, they go, all right, well, we really need a couple more days before we finally get our financing approved, or we can just gamble, risk it, remove conditions from the offer before we're fully approved. They can still choose to do that. That is their right to do so. But like I said, it gives you the best opportunity to sneak in there. So that's why it's a good thing from a buyer's perspective, is if it is the one, it gives you the best opportunity to be able to sneak in there before that deal falls apart and somebody else comes in as well. Now you're competing with another buyer and you're more likely paying more money. Okay, so that's why a backup offer can work if you are a buyer. Again, you need to go in there with your expectations tempered, knowing that you may still not get that house. But if you like it that much, this at least gives you the best opportunity to get it. So now let's switch gears to backup offers and why I think they're a good thing from a seller's perspective. Okay, so we just talked about that scenario where a house is pending until June 15th. Let's just put the shoes on the other feet, and now we are the seller. So we've already accepted an offer on a property. We've agreed to price, possession, conditions, deposit, all those things. Okay, great. It's pending until June 15th. The home buyers, they have an inspection booked, they're doing their financing in the background, great. You as the seller are just kind of sitting there and waiting. At some point throughout that process, you get a backup offer. Fantastic. You negotiate it just like you normally would. But you as a seller, why would you ever accept a backup offer for less money than what you have already got? So what that means is, let's say you're pending with the first buyers at 400. Why would I take anything less with the backup offer? In fact, most often you can get a little bit more. So maybe you get 405, you get them agreed with 405,000 instead. So now if that first deal falls apart, worst case scenario, it's gonna take a little longer to go officially sold, but you get 5,000 bucks more for your trouble. Okay, so it gives you more leverage. You can deal with a backup offer with more leverage. So that's a good thing. The second thing is, if the agent is smart on the buyer side, they will write the offer saying, by accepting this backup offer, you agree to make no changes to the original offer. Fantastic. There's no downside for me as a seller by agreeing to that term. There's literally zero downside for me. So now when those first buyers come back to me and say, hey, listen, the sink faucet was a little loose, and we're missing a couple shingles up here, and the humidifier is dirty, so we'd like you to replace that. We want you to do this. We want you to do that. We want you to do this. As long as you agree to do those things, we'll still buy this house. You can say, sorry, I can't make any change to the contract because I've already agreed to that. So you either have to move ahead as is, or we're done. Okay, so it gives you more leverage to deal with those first buyers as well. This is why backup offers are great. They're good for everybody. As the buyer, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the house, but it gives you the best possible option to do so. And you as a seller, it gives you the most leverage that you can ever have in a situation. You can leverage the backup offer people to get more money, and you can also leverage the first people to ensure the deal moves ahead as is. In a competitive market like this, where there is not enough homes for the amount of buyers that need to buy them, backup offers are a fantastic idea. I know that was a lot of details and sometimes it can get cluttered up. I'm more than happy to talk about your situation personally and about your real estate needs. If you want any clarification on this, chuck a comment below and I'll make sure to answer it as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I truly appreciate it. Make sure to go check out all of my other videos, and we'll see you next time.